Mr. Director, worry not. We'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
Kennedy just asked FBI Director Kash Patel the question that's going to send shockwaves through Washington: did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him? But that's not even the most explosive part of this hearing. Wait until you hear what Kennedy reveals about the FBI paying Peter Strzok $1.2 million after he tried to stop Trump. This is absolutely insane.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI, Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI, replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon-to-be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, this story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This isn't just a hearing. This is Kennedy systematically destroying the FBI's credibility in real time. And new FBI Director Kash Patel just got his first taste of Kennedy's surgical questioning style. Watch Kennedy's strategy unfold. He starts with something simple: a judge arrested for helping illegal immigrants. Gets Patel to confirm basic principles. We don't get to pick which laws to follow. Sets the foundation for everything that follows. Then Kennedy drops the first bomb: Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. But here's Kennedy's genius. He doesn't just mention their anti-Trump texts. He makes Patel recite them word for word. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? No, he won't. We'll stop it. But the real corruption comes next. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Miss Page $800,000? Think about this. The FBI paid nearly $2 million to two agents who were fired for trying to interfere in a presidential election. And Kennedy forces Patel to admit it came from Attorney General Merrick Garland himself. Kennedy's reaction? Pass me the sick bucket, please. That's not just political theater, that's genuine disgust at institutional corruption. Then Kennedy moves to the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up. He walks Patel through the timeline. FBI had the laptop for 10 months, knew it was real, but let 51 intelligence experts lie to the American people right before an election. Kennedy wants a name, not a division, but a person with a brain and a beating heart who made that decision. But Kennedy saves his biggest bombshell for last. Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him? Watch Patel's response carefully. He says Epstein hung himself, but Kennedy's not satisfied. Are you going to release all the information? Patel gives the standard bureaucratic non-answer about protecting victims. Kennedy's comeback is perfect. When do you think you'll have it done? Like before I die? That's not just impatience. That's Kennedy calling out decades of government stonewalling. This hearing reveals why Kennedy has become the most feared questioner in Congress. He doesn't just ask questions, he builds cases that expose systemic corruption. Every question connects to the next, creating an undeniable pattern of FBI misconduct. Democrats hate Kennedy because he asks the questions they don't want answered. Republicans love him because he gets results. And Kash Patel just learned why Kennedy's hearings go viral. He forces the truth out of people who've spent years hiding it. This is exactly why I do this, to bring you the moments that expose what's really happening in our government. Kennedy just dropped multiple bombshells that mainstream media will either ignore or spin. If you want the unfiltered truth about what's happening in Washington, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. And tell me in the comments, what shocked you more, the $1.2 million payoff or Kennedy asking about Epstein? Let's talk about it.